Hello, hello, hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Eleonora Bastos of the Diet Free Project. I'm sorry. Eleonora, are you ready to speak to the I Am CEO community?
Absolutely. Yes. Hi,
Awesome.
everybody.
Awesome. Well, what I wanted to do was read a little bit more about Eleonora so you get the opportunity to learn a little bit more about all the awesome things that she's been able to do and accomplish. So Eleonora is a certified integrative nutrition practitioner who has decided to dedicate her life to helping people with their health, nutrition, and personal development after overcoming 8 years of eating disorders and depression. She opened her practice in Miami in 2014 after completing her education at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York. And since then, she has been coaching women all over the world, helping them improve their health and permanently lose weight by simply implementing a few diet and lifestyle changes. Eleonora, are you ready to speak to our community?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Well, the first question I had was just to kind of learn a little bit more about your CEO story and what led you to kind of start your business.
Well, I think I come from a family of entrepreneurs. Both my parents are entrepreneurs. So I have always grew up with that mentality where we used to go on vacation back in the days when everybody was at school. And then, we had that lifestyle, right? My parents never brought us to school because they were sleeping in the morning and we had the nanny that would bring us at work. So I grew up with that mentality. And I know that financial freedom was something that I wanted to create for myself and my family in the future. So there's always been that drive, but I never really knew. I have so many different talents and I never really knew how to, where to take them, right? So I think it clicked when, for personal story, I suffered again of eating disorders and, a depression for many, many years growing up. And I've suffered with drug abuse and did the whole thing. And it was a very tough time in my life and I got out of it myself. So when I was 21, I moved to the United States by myself. I'm originally from Italy.
Okay.
And it was moving around different cities. I was first in Chicago. Then when I moved to Miami, I came across this model that was creating a brand. And her brand was called Models Do Eat, which is she was teaching the world that models do eat. They just make healthier choices. And because I needed to help her build her brand, her teaching started brushing off on me. And I started healing my relationship with food. So once I started healed my relationship with food, then I started feeling better. I had more energy. The depression was gone. And then I started I have all this idea and I'm like, okay, oh my goodness, I have this thing. I found the key out of depression and out to feeling sluggish and not feeling good in my body. I can help so many women. This can be my future. So that was the moment that triggered it for me.
Awesome. Well, obviously that's you're awesome to be able to go through all those things and be able to come out and empower yourself and be even stronger from it. So kudos to you for being able to do that and accomplish that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I wanted to drill a little bit deeper into what exactly you do to kind of help out the clients and people that you work with.
Right. So I do a customized plan because every person is different. And especially when it comes down to the feeling good and weight loss journey, everybody has different triggers. A lot of it, what I've noticed for me and, in my practice then afterwards, it was that you are what you eat because what you eat is what, makes your cells and your organs work and the whole thing. But then you eat your feelings and emotions. So if you're sad, you're going to go for the chocolate, or if you're feeling lonely, and the ice cream and the carbs, because those are going to stimulate the feel-good hormone in your brain. And that is something that you can't break unless you address the mind and the body. So everybody is different. And all my challenges, I run 12-week challenges, 30-day challenges, but I do that personalized approach. And I think that's what makes it different because it's not something that you download online. It's customized to each of my clients, to their lifestyle habit. Some are busy moms, some are busy entrepreneurs, and they don't have the time. So everybody has different triggers that needs to be addressed, and you cannot do a one plan fits all. It's just not, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And a lot of times I always hear people say that, we're all different. We all have different lifestyles. Like you mentioned, we're in different points in our lives. So to have, you need to do this diet or you need to do that diet doesn't necessarily fit for everybody. So to be able to have that customization is huge. And that brings me kind of to my next question. I know that was one of the things that I felt is kind of your secret sauce, so to speak, the thing that makes you unique. Do you think there's anything else you can kind of speak to that says this is what distinguishes you?
Well, I think like the one-on-one and the fact that like I've been through it because so I started suffering with anorexia, so obsession of being skinny. And then my love for food would take over. So then I would start binge eating. Then I would start, like going down to bulimia because I was feeling guilty because I put on so much weight. And then started be bulimic, so then back anorexic. And I did that for so many years. So I understand the struggle of like, having a temptation that is bigger than you, or, like the fact that like of being afraid of food and like feeling scared, right? So like the fact that I've been through it all myself and I'm not just someone that has read a book, I think like that definitely helps, like relating with my clients. Yeah, again, like the fact that like everything has to be customized. I don't believe in the crazy workout routine. It's just not like I think like it's unsustainable. And like that's like one of the things that like, like I always talk to my clients. It's like everything that it's out there on the market, it's meant for you to fail because those lifestyle are not sustainable. All the diets that are out there that promise quick results, like the quicker the result, the quicker you're going to put it back on, and sometimes with some extra. And then also, like they're all meant for you to fail because you can't sustain that lifestyle for the rest of your life. Like you can try whatever diet you want, like the soup diet. Oh, I've heard it all. You have no idea. And try them all. But like you cannot sustain it in the lifestyle because life happens, right? You're going to be invited to a restaurant, you're going to go to a birthday party, and then what happens then? You're going to bring your own food. For how long is that going to last, right? And you're not going to be able to work out like every single day for 30 days. And what happened, like multiple times a day or like once a day, like it's just not going to happen, right? Eventually you're going to fall off. And then when you fall off one day, the guilt is going to kick in. And then the guilt kick in, it's like, oh, whatever, I'm just going to start, like, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then the procrastination kicks in, and then you're going to start feeling a failure. And then that failure is going to put you down. So then you're going to abandon it all. And then you're just going to continue with the yo-yo, right, for the rest of your life. So for me, it's just about creating lifestyle changes that are sustainable and they're cut, like, around people's life, and that's why the one-on-one approach for me is, like, super important.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you because like you said, a lot of things happen. And I'm glad you pointed that out because a lot of times these diets that are created so that you can't actually keep up with them. You have to continue to pay them money or buy the book or do whatever you have to do so that they continue to make money and generate revenue. So I'm glad you definitely pointed that out.
Yeah, so nobody wants a one-time consumer, right? As a business owner, like that's one of the things that people don't want. But what makes me different is that the fact that there's so many people in the world that if I help one by one, and that can be my life mission, I'll never make like to hit all of them. So, I can like resolve one-on-one problem and then I go on to the next, right?
Right. Exactly.
There's enough people to just get one client and then that's it.
Exactly. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So I wanted to switch gears a little bit and ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And then this might be an app or a book or just something that you do on a regular everyday basis that makes you more efficient and effective as a business owner.
Well, so there's one app that I use on the computer for organizing. For me, it's key because especially when you don't have a boss that tells you what you need to be doing and, have deadlines, and you have to create your own deadlines. I think there's a couple of things. One app that I use a lot is Trello, Trello, and that is great for organizing. You can create different boards. You can create like where are you at with the project notes. You can share it with your team. So that's really great. And then another one, Calendly, for scheduling appointments because I do coaching calls and because, like I have meetings. So I don't have to worry about that. That makes me super efficient with my time. People can book their appointments, book their coaching call, move them around, do whatever they want, and I don't have to have any involvement in the situation whatsoever. So those are two of the biggest tools that I use. And then a coach. You do need a coach. I am a coach and I have a coach because it is hard to, especially, like being self-employed, like you don't have the pressure that you're going to lose your job. Like you don't have the pressure of, oh my God, what's going to happen? But you do have the pressure that you're not going to be able to pay your bills if you don't do the work that you're supposed to, right? But then like that gives the overwhelm because you have the fear of like not making it to the end of the month. So then you go in paralyzed mode. So sometimes you need a coach to keep you on track and like really prioritize, tasks. So I have a coach friend of mine and we coach each other on a weekly basis. And what we do, we just talk about the 3 big rocks. And every week we pick 3 things that are non-negotiable, that those need to be done no matter what. And those are all things that we talk about together. We're in the same line of business. So, we can share, like, oh, I don't think you should do that and whatever. And then, and then we hold each other accountable. That's super important.
Yeah, that's sure. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, accountability is huge, and those are definitely some great apps to make sure people are organized, and definitely making sure that they come to their meetings on time and they have their meetings on their calendar, which is even more important. So I definitely appreciate those. And I wanted to now ask you for what I call a CEO nugget, and this might be a word of wisdom or a piece of advice you might have for business owners.
I think the biggest one is surround yourself with like-minded people. I think that's the hardest transition point of being employed and becoming an entrepreneur, because a lot of the people have like the thinking is like, oh, I'm going to become an entrepreneur with the thought that you're going to work less. No, you're going to work way more than you're working right now being employed. It's actually like more challenging, but more fun, right? And but the thing is that you have to be surrounded with people that have your same lifestyle, because you're not going to be able to go out and party when everybody else is. Like you're going to be tired at night and exhausted, and you're not really going to want to relate and like, get drunk or whatever. So
Mhm.
you want to surround yourself with people that have the same lifestyle and with you, and also are going through the same stuff. Like one of the things that I love is that like all the women that I'm surrounded with right now are all entrepreneurs, they're all on their own businesses. So it becomes great, because then even when you do like lunch catch-ups and stuff, like you talk about your business and you get free masterminds, right? So it's really great because like it keeps you on track. It helps you like open up your vision. It doesn't necessarily have to be people in your same industry. Like the girlfriends that I have here in London, I just relocated in London, are actually in completely different line of businesses than me. But it's still really great to be able to, like if you're having a no day and like to like share it with them and get that support of like, okay, we've been there, you can do this, keep on going, right? So I think like that's one of the biggest one. It's surround yourself and support yourself with people that are in the same journey.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Yeah, your environment will kind of determine where you go or where you don't go sometimes. So
Right.
if you're not sure who you are, they always say kind of take a look at who you're around and where you spend your time, and that'll determine
Right.
exactly who you are and what you are able to accomplish. So I think that's awesome.
Right.
And now my favorite question, which is to ask you for your definition of being a CEO. We're having a lot of different types of quote unquote CEOs on this podcast. So I wanted to hear from you, like, what does being a CEO mean to you?
For me, it's freedom. It's freedom and fulfillment, because it's the freedom of, being able to, like my business is online. So I have the freedom of being able to live wherever I want to and being able to move around the world. Like I am 30 years old and I've lived in 7 different cities, all the major cities in the world. So
Awesome.
it's been really great, right? So, so that's like the biggest one for me. It's freedom. Like if I said, like owning a business online is really the thing for me. And then the other one I think is, can I say two?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
So for me, it's also the fact that I get to do what I'm passionate about. So to wake up in the morning and really like be happy and excited and like really take on the day with a different spin, rather than like, oh, I'm going to have to go to work to do what I'm told and like work on someone else's dream. Like I get to wake up every morning, and yeah, I'm going to have problems. There's going to be issues, and it's not easier, but it's stuff that I'm passionate about. So I'm happy and excited to learn more about it, right? Like it's not something, it feels like, for me when I used to be employed, like it feels like you are being, when you go at school and you get
Mhm.
like the teacher that tells you like, oh, you have to study this subject, and
Mhm.
like, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling restricted. I don't like being told what to do. I like the freedom of like waking up and doing what I love. And if there's an issue, it's related to what I do and that I love. So it's much easier and more fun.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's like going back to kind of what you said about freedom. You're sometimes in a box, so to speak, and you feel like you want to try to get outside that box. But at being an entrepreneur, running your own business, you have the opportunity to do that. So I definitely echo all those things. I think that's a great definition that you had too. So Eleanor, I truly appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to kind of speak with us. What I wanted to do was like pass you the mic, so to speak, one more time to see if there's anything additional you want to let our readers and our listeners know, and then how people can get a hold of you.
Okay, so yeah, there's one thing, and I think like that's a big one because I have a lot of clients that are entrepreneurs as well. A lot of the time as an entrepreneur, because you get so wrapped into what you're doing because you're passionate about it, it's your business and your life depends on it, you forget to take care of yourself. And that is something super important, that if you're trying to start your business, if I can recommend you something, find things that ground you, things that relax you, things that make you feel better, and create a routine. And that has to be non-negotiable. It has to be like the appointment that you make on your calendar, whether it's a workout routine, whether it's yoga, meditation, it doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. Everybody's different. Some people cannot meditate but prefer running, whatever. But find what relaxes you and makes you feel home. So then you can always go back to it and make a non-negotiable appointment with yourself to make sure to do it and continuously do it. No matter what's going to happen with your business, continues to do it, because that's going to keep you sane. It's going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep you on track. And it really can save your business.
I definitely agree with that. So Eleonora, if people wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
So on my website is thedietfreeproject.com, Instagram, The Diet Free Project, and then the same on Facebook, The Diet Free Project.
Awesome. Well, what we'll do is we'll have those links in the show notes just in case anybody wants to check it out. But I truly appreciate you for your story and everything you've been able to kind of work through, and how you're definitely helping yourself out, but also helping out so many others. So I truly appreciate you and all the awesome things that you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. This was great.
No problem. You have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.